Pennies are not going to become valuable. Pennies are not going to become valuable. Pennies are not going to become valuable. How did I screw that up? Valuable. Pennies are not going to become valuable. I don't know if it was just me, but a few people around me were like, at least in my family, were like, oh, we should start collecting pennies. We should start hoarding pennies. They're going to become valuable one day because they are not being made anymore. No, they're not going to become valuable. Why would they become valuable? There's over 200 billion of them in circulation. Is all 200 billion just going to disappear? Yeah, I can see a lot of them getting lost, but that's probably going to take place over your entire life. If pennies will ever become rare, it's going to happen after you die. Pennies are not going to become valuable in this lifetime. You're not going to be walking one day when you're 50 years old and be like, oh, I dropped the penny.
Oh, a penny! I get to pay off my mortgage and my college tuition and my health care. Yippee!
Yeah, pennies will not become valuable in this lifetime. My dog is looking at me. He kind of looks like he's judging me. I think about pennies not being produced anymore came on, and they were like, oh, you see, that's what we need to do. That's the money-making strat. We just hoard a bunch of pennies. That is not the money-making strat. You would have a lot better luck making money getting a job. My cousin Walter also did bring up that pennies would become valuable, but he didn't seem to actually believe it. He was just trying to convince me to take his pennies because he didn't want them. He was like, are you sure they're going to become really valuable? It would be interesting if I'm wrong, but I do not think pennies will become really valuable in the future, or at least in this lifetime. There's still just such a high quantity of pennies. It doesn't really matter that they're not being produced anymore. There's just so many of them.